Karl-Anthony Towns trade is a win for the Knicks. When this trade happened, I wasn't sure. Sure, Cat makes them better offensively, but I was nervous about the fit. Defensively, he's not the best. Karl-Anthony Towns is an all-star this season. He has been playing so well, it is clear the Knicks won the trade. The Knicks are 6th in the league in points per game at 118.3. When have you ever been able to say that about a Tom Thibodeau run team? If that's not enough, they are 2nd in the league in three-point percentage at 40% per game. Shooting 40% as an individual player is a great number, let alone a whole team. OG's having his career year. If you watch the Knicks, you know OG is playing out of his mind. OG's defense has always been great. His defense is still amazing, but his offense has also been amazing. OG, I believe, leads the league in dunks per game or something like that. They said it during the game the other day. When I talked about the Knicks recently, I literally said, it seems like OG gets at least like 3 or 4 dunks per game. Well, clearly I was right because he's leading the league in that category. OG's even making a case for an all-star for himself. However, Cat is going to be an all-star and so will Jalen Brunson, so OG unfortunately will not make it because they will already have 2. Mikal Bridges found his shot. He broke out of a shooting slump. The Knicks are rolling. Every game you'll see Josh Hart do this about 20 times. If there's a rebound, Josh Hart will find it, he will get it, and he will make sure that the Knicks get another possession. Precious Achiuwa just came back. He obviously didn't play a ton of minutes, but he definitely helped. While there is no concrete news on Mitchell Robinson's return, when he comes back, that will help the defense. I'll admit it, I am wrong. The Knicks won that trade. When that trade happened, I gave it a 5. I said, it's not the worst trade, but it's not the best trade I've seen. And it was mainly because of Cat's defense, or lack of, and also because I wasn't sure if they were going to run a 2-big lineup like they did in Minnesota, which we all know didn't work too well. Because Mitchell Robinson and Rudy Gobert, not the same player, but they have similar skill sets. Mitchell Robinson and Rudy Gobert are both not going to step out on the 3-point line and shoot a 3. They're going to be in the paint, rebounding, blocking shots, protecting the rim. And when that trade happened for Rudy Gobert, a lot of us thought that's not a great fit with Cat, and it didn't work out. And so I thought it's kind of the same thing if you're doing that with the Knicks. But as long as they keep it where Cat starts and Mitchell Robinson and him don't play a ton of minutes together, then I don't see an issue anymore. Again, especially the way Cat has been playing, he is really playing some of the best basketball of his career. Cat has always been able to score, put points on the board, we know this, but the aggression and the way that he's playing seems a little bit different. Like, did you see him the other game against the Magic where he was not only doing some crazy passes, by the way, no look, over the head passes and whatever, but he also is like being aggressive and saying, give me the ball and get out of my way. Like, we've seen him back players down in the paint so much more with the Knicks. I don't know if statistically it says that, but it seems like it. And that's one of the criticisms people have had on Cat is that although he's a very, very good 3-point shooter, he stands out on the 3-point line a little too often. So if the statistics actually back up what I'm saying, then Cat is definitely using his size to his advantage, and he is a very skilled offensive player, so there's no reason why he can't back people down in the paint and get an easy layup. It's only going to open up the floor more for his teammates and himself. But if you're backing people down in the paint and mixing up where you are getting your baskets from, then the defense is going to be confused and they're not going to know, like, are you going to go on 3-point line? Are you going to try to back people down in the paint? And it's just going to make that much more difficult to guard you and the Knicks. Jalen Brunson's doing Jalen Brunson things, and we know he obviously is going to be an all-star this season because he is that good. I did say, though, before the season started, I did think the Knicks would be the #1 seed even after this trade in the Eastern Conference, because I still felt like even though they were going to have to work through some chemistry issues, they still had the firepower and the defense from OG and Mikal Bridges. And overall, I thought the defense would be a little bit better than it is right now, to be honest. They are 19th right now in defense. That is something they need to fix. Because if you want to win a championship in this league, you got to be a top 10 defense. But again, that is Tibbs' specialty. So if anybody can get this team to be a top defensive team again, it would be him. And also, again, they don't have Mitchell Robinson, one of their key defenders, and Precious just got back. And the Cavs are having an incredible season, especially record-wise. So it'll be tough for the Knicks to get the #1 seed. But the second half of the season is just around the corner, and there's no reason why the Knicks can't go on their own little run. Remember last year in January when they went like 14-2? They really could do that again in January. Miles McBride making a case for himself for 6th Man of the Year. Shout out to him. Cameron Payne, I talked about him recently when I talked about the Knicks. He's having a very, very good season off the bench for the Knicks. So the pieces are all fitting together. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, they are struggling a bit. They are definitely struggling more than I thought they would, But at the same time, I really do think this was for the best for Minnesota. Because at the end of the day, I think they went as far as they could with Cat. I don't think he's the best fit with Anthony Edwards either. And his contract was so large, they didn't have any money to pay any of the younger guys. So at the end of the day, the Minnesota Timberwolves may be a little bit worse so far this season than last year, but I think long term they'll be better. But shout out to the Knicks, and there is a potential for them to make another trade.